Hello, everybody. It's Mindy. It is Wednesday for you, and it's a whip and chat day, as you already know. So, um, let's get whipping, and I'll get chatting, and I'll see what I can get finished here. It would be great to finish this little section here, but I don't think I will. There's like 7,000 colors in there still. And I think I'm done with this one. I think that's where I ended last night before I got tired and I went to bed. I went to bed. I was exhausted, emotionally drained, and I was ready to go to sleep. So, um, let me just start out. Let's just start right out with the tough stuff. And I'm not going to go into any detail at all, other than to say sometimes things happen in your life, and um, things are done, things are said that impact you greatly. Okay, and really give you pause to, well, a possibly doubt yourself and your self-worth, rethink relationships and your core values and the things you believe in. And I'm being very vague, but just, you know what I'm talking about. Things happen sometimes, and it's very difficult. And that's happened this week. And I've been really, I feel like, drug through the ringer emotionally and relationship wise, things like that. And it's been tough. Okay, it's been tough. So I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I will say that there are times when you're going through something and certain things just seem to happen, that kind of help, that help. Okay, so I will say that I have been doing that magical gratitude box from Expression Fiber Arts, and I got to the very end of it just yesterday. The last little envelope or pouch to open up, and it was very, very thought-provoking, very emotionally supportive, and perfect timing. Okay, and then I had a package on my bed that had been there for several days from my dear friend Brenda, who owns Bees Gems Crafted, and I had not had the opportunity to open it yet to film it. I knew it was there. I was just waiting until I had time to get to it. And I opened it today, and, well, here's a sneak peek. Okay, this is a sneak peek. I'll give you a sneak peek. And the meaning behind the stone here was spot on for what I need right now. Okay, spot on. And it was like perfect timing. So just know I appreciate from the bottom of my heart, and the timing couldn't have been any better. It was meant to be. I appreciate Brenda and everything that she included and sent to me, and the thoughts and the feelings behind them. I appreciate Shandy at Expression Fiber Arts. She's one of the people that I know through like social media type things that is just the most dearest soul, and always positive and uplifting and wanting us to shine and be our best. And those two things were right at the right time and helping me process things. That's what it's doing, helping me to process some things. Okay, so I just wanted to share that right off the bat because I just finished unboxing this package from Brenda, or unpackaging it. And I wanted to put this here because it's a reminder. It's a reminder. And I will deal with all of the emotional stuff, and I will come out better and stronger on the other side. Okay? So, thank you. Now that I've got that said and done, and we can move on. Let's move on to happier, lighter, brighter topics. So, my Chuck Pinson, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Like I said, I would love to finish this section today, and then I have a little bit, I've got like less than a release paper over here. Not much less, but it is less than a whole release paper over there. I need to get that done. I would like to get as much of these two sections right here done today as possible. Because then after that, I am down to one more spot down here. It's about, I don't know, I could measure it for you, but it's about, let's just say 4 release papers. It's not really, but maybe 4. Okay, and I'm done. So that's my goal, is to get this thing finished. I want it finished in the worst way. I want it finished. So I'm working. I did take some time out this morning to record a few videos. Dale has been gone. He went to get tacos today with his friend. Hasn't gotten tacos with him for quite a while. It has been many, many weeks since Dale has gone to get tacos on Tuesday. So he went to get tacos. And he had some other things, some things to return and some things to get. So he's been gone a while, which is fine. It's given me some time to just do what I need to do, right? So our yesterday morning, I was up. He was in the back part of the house and didn't hear it, but I started hearing this buzzing sound. And I know that it's an alarm. It's an alarm for something. I'm not certain what it's an alarm for, but I know it's an alarm. So I tell Dale, I'm like, honey, we got an alarm going off out here. And he goes, no. I'm like, yeah. He comes out and he's like, oh, that is the sewage disposal pump alarm. Okay. So something is going on with the sewage pump. If you live in the country, you have a well for your water, you have a septic system for your sewage, lots of pumps going on, water pumps, sewage pumps, this kind of pump, that kind of pump. It's a whole thing, right? So he's like, well, one of two things. He said, either the float has gone bad, so the float indicating when there's stuff that needs to be pumped out, right? Or the whole pump has gone bad. And I'm like, okay, great. So what that means is that there's a spot out in front of our house where the wishing well sits. Underneath that is where the sewage pump lives. There's the tanks are there. He explained, I learned more about the sewage disposal yesterday than I ever knew before. I really kind of understand it pretty well now. So he has to dig up the dirt, move the wishing well, dig up the dirt, take the lid off, get in there to the pump and figure out what's going on. All right. So it actually was the float. The float, raises and lowers as water levels raise, indicates when you should pump, right? Well, it broke because, first of all, it's in a sewage hole, right? And there's water and stuff in there, and things corrode after time. And so the little arm that the thing went up and down on corroded and broke. So the float was not floating any longer, which means we needed to replace the whole entire pump because you can't just replace that float on the pump. You needed a whole new pump. So here we go. I had packages to send out yesterday. We had to go get a new pump. We're off to Menards, off to the post office, off to the uh, auto parts store to drop off my packages. Found out that they're not going to be doing UPS drop off there any longer because they technically can't accept all types of packages. They have no refrigeration area for anything that maybe need refrigerating. So they're not going to be doing it after the 28th. So that means I'll have to go further into town to the drugstore to drop off packages. Otherwise, I need to go into Lansing to the UPS store, which is not ideal. That's not, I mean, it's not like it's far. It's just, that's not fun. I don't want to do that. So it looks like from now on, when I have packages that are going UPS, which most of them are going UPS these days, I will have to go in further into town to the drugstore, the CVS. Oh, yay. Okay. Anyhow, got that done. And then this is when I was getting my lesson on the sewage system and how it all works. We're at Menards picking out a pump, right? Those things are not cheap. They're not cheap. I'll just say that. So got a new pump, brought it home. My cousin's husband is wanting Dale for something to help him put a new battery in some RV type equipment he's got, needs a new battery. He can't do it. Dale said he'd come over and help him, but Dale's like, I have to do this first because this is priority. This is more important than your battery in your, your RV thing. So, we get home and he starts trying to install this new pump, only to discover it's not tall enough. So there's a shorter one and a taller one. And he was like, so should I rig up a different hose, cut this, do that, or should I just go get a new pump? I'm like, my suggestion, go get the correct pump. He said, well, this is the correct pump. It's just not tall. I said, no, go get the one that you need. Go get the one you actually need. Instead of trying to change wiring and all that kind of stuff that's already down in the hole, go get the pump. So off we go back to Menards again. Why I went to Menards, I don't know. Oh, because he told me, come on, get in the car. You're going with me. Well, because he knows that I have been in a little emotional state. And so that's my husband's way of saying, come on, let's be together. Let's go, just be together and do things. So off to Menards we go again to get a new pump. And then there was a trip to Dairy Queen afterwards. So there's that. So he's got the new pump. That's his job today, is to get the pump installed after tacos, because he's still off at tacos. And he had some pants to exchange and a couple of other things. So he'll be here when he's here, and he'll be out there working diligently out there, fixing the pump. Luckily, it pumped everything out yesterday when he started working on it, made sure it cleared everything out so that we're not going to have to worry about any possible overflowing while the pump is not in there, right? So we're good to go with that. So he'll be doing that later. And I am going to go pick up Jackson from school. So I'll have him for a couple of hours until, I don't know, probably until Shannon gets out of work and she'll come pick him up, is my guess. I don't know that for sure, but that's my guess. So that is life around here, all the excitement happening here. I talked about my craft show on my live on Saturday, so many of you already know. I'll keep that part brief here, but the craft show was terrible. I'll just say it was terrible. I had several Christmassy things, nothing sold. I mean, it was just bad. I sold one small item for $5 in the morning and sat there. Now, Do people come and look? Yes. They came in to the booth. They looked. They pick up things. They talk to their friends. I don't know what they're saying. I have no idea. They look. They pick up. They put things down. They don't buy. You know? But once again, I don't think it's my product because the people around me were having the same things. There wasn't a ton of people. So it was something called Witch's Day Out. So it's an activity that takes place in the small town. And they have like vans that bus people from one part of the town to the other part of the town to do different things that are going on. This craft show was one of them. So people dress up as witches and they tour the town and they get bussed around the town to go do different things. There were people. There were some people. I wouldn't say there was a ton of people, but there was traffic. Somebody beside me said there was actually more people this year than there was last year that came through, but they sold more last year. And I'm like, so what's the deal? You know, same product, they're selling the same product. Fewer people last year, but their sales were better than this year when there's more people. I said it before, Dale talked to somebody, and I don't know who it was, but they were talking about election years and that these types of things don't go over well in election years. Like people don't spend their money. And I thought that was a very interesting concept. I was like, because it's an election year, people aren't out spending their money. Well, when I was at the bank getting ones and fives and stuff, which I did ahead of time this time, and I've saved them. I've just saved them so I don't have to do it next time. Even the teller at the bank was like, yeah, she said, I noticed it. She says, or they're liquidating things. Like they're coming in here wanting to liquidate. They don't want things that are tied up. They want their assets liquid. I'm like, wow, interesting concept. Are we really that nervous about what's going to happen in an election that, I mean, are we supposed to be starting to stuff our cash under our mattress at this point? I mean, it just seemed very interesting. Nothing I would have ever given a thought to, but I don't know. There may be some truth to it. I don't know. Anyhow, all that just to say, I ended up starting to pack up a little early. I thought the show went until 5 and then found out it goes until 6. And I'm like, oh, my live is at 7. I started packing up my stuff about 5:30, just a little bit here and a little bit there, just putting some stuff away. And then other people around me about 5:45 started packing up. And then I was just like, I'm just going to pack up my stuff and I'll just be out of here early. And then right at the very end, most of my stuff is packed up. I had a few diamond painting things left that were still out. That was Dale's area. He was working on those. And one of the other vendors came up and bought a piece. So I sold 2 diamond painting items for a grand total of $17. $17. Okay. So, did I make my fee back? No, I did not. The other thing was, in my rush to leave in the morning, it was a whole fiasco getting out of here. Woke up late. Dale's got to take a shower. We're running late. It's a 25-minute drive to get there. Yeah. I forgot to grab my bag of things to crochet, so I had nothing to do. I had nothing to do as I sat there for 8 hours. Nothing. Except walk around, talk to people, you know. Otherwise, I could have just been sitting there crocheting my little fingers away, but I forgot my bag. Alas, I got nothing done. So, anyhow, get all packed up and get out of there, and other people started packing up, and, you know, I was out of there about 6:20 or so, and home just in time to do my live. Dale unloaded the car for me. I said in my live I had to unload the truck after the live, but Dale had it all unloaded, and he had everything downstairs, pretty much where it goes. I put it all on the table. That's what he did. He set up the little white table and just put all my boxes on the table. But other things like the big table, he knew where that went. The screen, he put that away, stuff like that. So he's very helpful. He's very helpful. He's not a man of many words and, a lot of vocalization of his feelings and things like that. But he shows it in many, many ways, like come with me to go get a new pump and we'll get ice cream. Helping me out with the craft shows. He does. He shows his support in those ways. And I love him dearly. I love him. Okay. He might not really talk about how I'm feeling about things, but he might grab a hold of my hand and hold my hand. He did that riding in the truck last night. He just grabbed my hand, wanted to hold my hand. I'm like, he's sweet. He's really sweet. I lucked out. I lucked out with that one. So, I have another craft show coming up at the end of November, and I'm not feeling any rush or urgency to crochet a lot of stuff for it. I do have a couple different varieties of ornaments I want to crochet, and I may just do a few of each. It's not going to be any big deal. I'll do a couple of each kind and call it good, Now, that one is paid for. Already done, paid for. It's in my little town here, not my town of my address, remember. There's the town of my address, which is a larger town, a larger small town. But then there's a little town that I really kind of call really my home, which is the one that's a mile away from us. But that's not where our address is. Anyhow, I'm signed up for that craft show. Already paid for, done deal. Okay, and that's at the end of November. So I will do that one for sure. I am debating doing the other one, which is through the same group that the one last weekend was. So they organize several shows in different small towns, really, is what they do. And I have not decided if I want to try that show or not. I'm kind of wanting to wait until I see how the one in November does here at my local high school before I sign up for the one in December. That's in another small town. That's the town where Dale lived when he was married and raised his family. When he was married before, not this marriage. So I don't know. I'm kind of holding off on that one. I don't know. Is it advertising? Is that the issue? Is it? I don't know. I'm kind of waiting, and I think I might wait right up until I do the next show to see how that one goes. And if I still sell like nothing at this one, which I anticipate to have great traffic because this is the third year. I have attended it the first 2 years, and it's always very busy. There's a lot of people, a lot of traffic there. So I'm anticipating it being a busy show. I don't think the people, the attendance, is going to be the issue. If I don't sell stuff, then there has to be some other reason other than small crowds, So I'm going to hold off, I believe, until I do the next show. And if I get, a fairly good reception at the next show, I might sign up for that last one I had in mind. That's kind of how I'm going to play it right now. See how it goes. I'm sorry for the plastic. I'm to the point where I need to keep this section covered because it's down here on my lap. I don't want to take off all of the plastic and put release papers on it because I think it's too much release paper. I don't know. So I keep touching the plastic and it keeps wrinkling and crinkling. And I apologize, but that's why. It's there, and I don't really want to remove it yet. I took off the rest of it. I cut off most of the plastic. There's just a small piece that's dangling in front of my table here. So, but that's the plan. And it's taken some pressure off me, feeling like I need to crochet more things, more Christmassy things. I'm like, I think I'm good. I think I've got enough, other than making a few of those ornaments I wanted to make. And those, honestly, if I don't sell them, I could give them as gifts to my family. And I think they would like them. So there's that. All right, updates on life around here, craft show life, how that's all going. What else do we have to talk about? We talked about the Chuck Pinson. It's getting there. It's almost done. I mean, I've got a week to 10 days at this point. What is the date today? The 22nd? I think today's the 22nd. So I've got almost 10 days, 9 days, something like that, right? It will be done. And I might actually even have time to do a little something, something else. Hopefully, something else. Yeah, that's my plan. All right. Moving on to November. And I'm going to have to do just some quick little ditty about November. Maritza is partnering with me to put on a November event. And it's going to be very, very open-ended, very lax. Let's just use that word, lax. Okay? Maritza was wondering if she could do crochet gnomes. And I said, sure. Maritza, you're co-hosting. You can do whatever you want. Sure. But then somebody else kind of mentioned, crochet. Okay, so here's the deal. We're going to make this a fun event. Everyone can participate type of event. Easy peasy. A prize a week. Bada bing, bada boom. We're done. Okay? Do you have to do a big canvas? No, you don't. Can you do more than one canvas? Can you do little canvases? Can you do stand-up ornamental gnomes? Can you crochet gnomes, knit gnomes? Yes, 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 and yes. Do what you want. Do what you want. Okay? But here's the deal. There will be a post every week in Diamond Moments and Crafts, just like we do for most of our events. There will be a weekly post, and you may post once a week. Once a week. Okay? So, if you want to work on a crocheted gnome, post a picture in the Facebook group for week 1, do it. If you're working on something different for week 2, maybe you want to work on a small diamond painting for week 2, post that for week 2. If you do multiple objects per week, you can post them, but you'd have to post them in one comment, one post, okay? Not multiple, just one. So everybody gets one little entry per week. That's it, period. Okay? Does that make sense? But you can work on whatever you want. You can work on a great big diamond painting, a great big gnome diamond painting, and you can post your progress once a week. Okay? Once a week. So, do we need to see a bunch of before pictures and after pictures? No. Like if I do, there's a little stand-up acrylic sign gnome thing, I don't know what we call them, tabletop decoration. If I do one of those in week 1, I can post my picture of that finished for week 1. I don't need to post a picture of it before I start it. I just need to see a finish, if it's finished. Or if I didn't finish it and I just have progress, just take a photo of the progress that I made and post that. And then the next week, you can post maybe the finish for it. See what I'm saying? One post a week, whatever you have that you've worked on. Okay? Seems simple enough? Simple enough in my eyes, anyhow. So, And that is what we will use to draw a name each week to give away a prize. Now, I can't speak for what Maritz is going to give away. I have an idea what she might give away. But you know me, I always make up little packages of things, and you never know what you're going to get in your little package. So I haven't heard anybody complain yet, that they got a package that was, terrible or anything. Here's Dale. Let me take a pause and chat with him real quick. Okay, well, he's back, has his pump, he's changed his clothes, he's ready to go install said pump. Get it done, get it done, get it in there, get it pumping. Then he hasn't done the other things I told you about, like going to exchange his pants and all that kind of stuff. He's got to do that still too. I just found out during our little break here that I guess I'm not going to pick up Jackson from school. One of his moms has gotten her things taken care of in time, and she's going to go pick him up from school. I'm like, oh, okay. I wouldn't have minded picking him up. I like to spend a little time with him now and then, But so I guess I just got some more time in my life, which I just realized is probably a good thing because I am not done reading our book for book club tonight. I am not done with that. I have got about 12 pages, I think, to read. Not that it's going to take me a long time, but I do need to read my 12 pages before tonight. I'm trying to get a lot done in one day. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's like I get behind, I feel, and trying to get caught up and get everything done. It's like, whew, it's a lot. So anyhow, I guess I got some more time to myself today. So I guess that's all I have to talk about, folks. Kitties are doing great. One's whining right now. I can hear it. They're out on the deck sunning themselves because it's another glorious day here in Michigan. It has been in the 70s. It's October, folks. It's been in the 70s. Yeah. We did have a little cold snap there for a while, though, which did kill my zinnia plants in the garden. Yep, no more zinnias. So it was getting down to low 30s, frost and such, and, they can't survive that. So I guess, I'll have to get out there here pretty soon and, get those out of the ground, dig them out and whatnot. I have to dig up the dahlias and save the tubers because those won't survive our winters here. I did clean up a flower bed yesterday. I went out and I cut all the dead plants off, pulled any weeds that I could find. A lot of the weeds died with the frost. So I got that cleaned up. Where is the N? I need the N. There it is. I got one flower bed cleaned up. One out of multiples. So I'm hoping that tomorrow is a nice day as well. And not a day when I need to film, and I can go work on some more flower beds. Maybe possibly the flower garden out back. Dale will help me with the flower garden, and we have to do the vegetable garden too. Like the tomatoes need to be pulled out. They're goners. I did a video the other day. Our beans, the plants are all dead and wilted, but there's still like some good green beans on the plants. So maybe we can go pick some beans. Have to dig up carrots and potatoes, but they're not, that's nothing that's urgent. They're fine in the ground for a while. But just things like that. It is fall. It is time to do all of that fall cleanup. And I was happy I got one flower bed done last night. One. Okay. I had plenty of help. Well, not help. Let's say there was plenty of activity in the flower bed. Yeah, cats. Cats. They were in and out of the flower bed, and here I am. I'm with my nippers. I'm cutting plants, right? And who do I have out there? I have little Miss Misty, and her feet are right. I'm like, girlfriend, You need to get out of here before I snip your foot. Stop jumping in my business here. But she was all curious about what I was doing and what those nippers were doing. And I was like, I was getting a little nervous. I finally just stopped. I just stopped and I was like, okay, go play. Go play. But then, no, something tragic happened. Tragic. The chickens. The chickens have been wandering out front, like way out front to the road and whatnot. And I look down by the end of the driveway, and Sunny is at the very end of the driveway, by the road. And I'm like, no, 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 no. I go out there and I'm like, hey, come on. I'm calling him. Get up here. Get back up by this house. And that's when I saw Smokey come running from the other side of the road. And I'm like, no, no, I don't want them over there. I don't want them crossing the road. Now, we don't get a lot of traffic. We don't. But we get enough, and we get the big trucks. And I don't want the cats down there. Don't go across the street. I don't want you doing that. But there they were. Two of them had crossed the road. And then little Miss Misty comes just plopping along across the street. And I was like, oh, dang it. I think she was the leader of the pack there and took her brother across the road with her. Yeah, Sonny hadn't made it across the street, thankfully. And I'm like, no, I went and got the treats. And I'm like, come on, you stay home. Get back here. I don't want him over there. Anyhow, so that's a thing that happened I'm not happy about. Mm-hmm. Today, they have just basically been out on the deck and around the deck. And I'm good with that. I think also because Dale was out front yesterday and I was out front yesterday, it, drew them out to the front of the house. And then they saw the chickens, and then it was, So they don't typically do that. There's nothing going on out front. So they're not attracted to be out in the front of the house. But let's not do that again, little kittens. Let's not go across the road. Your mother does not like that. Okay? Let's not do that. So, all right, well, Dale's going to put this pump in. It shouldn't take you much longer now that he's got the correct pump. He's got the plug all ready to go. I think it's basically just a plug and play kind of situation, get it plugged in there and he'll be done, cover it back up, all that fun stuff. He did get shocked yesterday because, there's electricity and it's in water, and he got a little shock. So he made sure that he turned off the breaker to the pump yesterday after his little poke. And I'm like, well, you probably should have done that before you started messing around in the hole of water with electricity. But you live and learn. I couldn't go anywhere the other day because he was up on our roof on a ladder. The one night when Jackson was here, on a Saturday night, it was raining, and Jackson was playing around the fireplace, and he says to me, Grandma, it's coming in. I'm like, what? What's coming in? The rain. It's wet. The rain's coming in. And I was like, ooh. So I went over to the fireplace, and yep, it was dripping into the fireplace, and it was coming out onto the hearth of the fireplace. And I was like, ew. So, of course, I go tell Dale, and he comes out and he looks and he's like, well, I'll be darned. He said, I wonder where it's getting in. So he was up on the roof the other day. Yesterday? No, the day before. I don't know. Yeah, on Sunday. He was up on the roof caulking around the chimney and whatnot so that it can't leak. Mm-hmm. So he didn't want me to go anywhere, rightfully so, until he was done and he was off the roof. So he ended up just caulking a lot of stuff while he was up there besides just the chimney. He found little screw holes from things, and he was just up there caulking this and caulking that. And I just had to kind of watch him and make sure he didn't fall off. I mean, I don't know what I was going to do if he fell. I can't catch him. I'm like, just be careful. Because, he did fall through the roof on the friend's mother's garage when they were re-roofing. He didn't fall all the way through, but he did fall through the roof into the rafters. Yeah. So we don't want that to happen anymore. No more falling off roofs, honey. No more falling off roofs. Okay. Yeah. sometimes, you know, things happen. You gotta worry about that man sometimes. So that's what's up. I'm gonna finish this section though. I'm gonna finish this, and then I'm gonna read my book, and I'm gonna edit and upload the video, and we'll see how much time I have left after that, and then I'll go live, and we'll talk about the book, which is interesting. It's an interesting book so far. It's a little. It's definitely more entertaining than the last book we read. I will say that. Keeping my interest. So that's a good thing. So I'm liking it so far. I am liking it so far. Okay, folks, that's it. I'm going to go. I might let the kitties in for a while now that I'm not filming and whatnot. Because, you know, they're out there whining. They're whiners, little whiners. They want to come in. I tell you what, Mr. Sunny just wants to be in my lap lately. Like, it is extremely hard to sit here and diamond paint in my little office chair, because that's all I have is just this office chair. How come I can't find the L? I hate it when I do that, because I don't use the L very often, so I don't know where it's at. Scoping up and down every row. There it is. Because I was looking for something yellow. That's why. Here it looks yellow. It's green. Deception. I've been deceived. Yeah, it's hard to diamond paint with him in my lap because there's not space here. But I'll tell you what, we figured it out last night. He was in my lap. I got a little video of it. It'll be in a crafty vlog coming up. But he was in my lap in the chair, and I was able to diamond paint, sort of, not as freely as normal. My movement was restricted a little bit because I got a cat laying on me, but he was happy, and he fell asleep, and I could diamond paint. The world was good. Okay? The world was good. I'm done now. Really, honestly, that's it. Done. Over and out. And you'll know, I'll say that. I'll hit end, and I'll think, man, I was supposed to say this. I forgot that. It happens every time. Every time, folks. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. And thanks for listening as I share thoughts and feelings. And I'm not sharing details, but just, you know, kind of how things are going emotionally. I'm normally a very upbeat person and happy-go-lucky. Things are good in the world, you know? And there's every once in a while, something just wants to kind of kick you in the teeth and make you question things. Anyhow, all right. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.